Hello and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity's live discussion on the House of the Dragon. Back again for episode 5, Unbowed and Unbent, and joined by the usual special guests. And Alyssa, this must be your favorite episode now because now we actually see the cats.
Yeah, but we haven't seen the cats actually actively attacking a rat. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see like Rhaenyra arguing with Daemon or something, and then in the background the cat goes and like eats a rat. Yeah, let us. But my name this week, I finally found something that Criston Cole and I can both agree on. We both want him to die. Go ahead and do it. Just get it over with already.
And of course, Darrin, thanks for joining as always.
Oh yeah, very excited. Can't agree with Alyssa more on that one. We'll just kick that off. Yeah, this is. I'm really curious about what you both think of this episode. We got some pluses and some minuses and so on. So I'm kind of curious where you both come across on this episode. Outside of the yes, let's kill Cole. So I'm excited to get into this tonight.
Well, and outside of the fact that we finally saw the cats, which
yes,
well, that is true. That is true. Yeah.
I mean,
good.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's more to this episode than the cats. So
yeah, unfortunately, just watch the cats the whole day. Oh, Brooke in the chat, don't tell me what I can't do. Locke came straight to my mind as well. Yep. he was like, stop telling me what I can't do. Oh, yep, John Locke. Anyway, yeah, so let's get to the overall thoughts on the episode. I think, so we've finally got in my opinion, the first sort of filler episode of the season. Hopefully the last. Hopefully the first and the last. But it wasn't bad. I wouldn't say I hated it. I think there was a lot of necessary things to push the story forward. Some people I've heard from some people who really like this episode. It's like, oh, people just want action, but I like the talking. And like, look, I like the talking too. I like character development, and I like that all good. But, I think I got enough from Game of Thrones of, people sitting around and talking about history of Westeros in order to make it relevant to the plot of the episode. And the Criston Cole thing, like, I was really hoping he would die in this episode. I was like, the way he's talking and like, oh, you're gonna die, and like they're gonna kill him off. It's not my favorite character. So yeah, spending a lot of it seemed like he was like the main focus of the episode. But it was interesting. We did get some interesting stuff this episode. So it's good, but it's probably my least favorite of the season so far. Alyssa?
Yeah, I like talking. There was a lot of talking in episode 3, and episode 3 was amazing.
Yeah.
There were some good talking scenes in episode 4. This is also my least favorite. I said last week that episode 4 would be forgettable by the end of the season. This one will be even more forgettable. I'll be like, wait, what happened in episode 5 again? I'll be like, oh, that's the one where Criston Cole was moping around again and trying to kill himself. And I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's not bad. The story is moving forward in small ways. I mean, Aemond is back. That's a good thing. We finally get Aemond back on screen, so we can move forward with his story. Of course, we get some forward movement with Alicent and Helaena and having an encounter with Mysaria, which are characters that haven't really interacted. So, that's cool. We get a little bit of forward movement in the plot. But did anything really happen in this episode? Like, there wasn't really any. Can't say that anything really happened. We did have, at the end of the episode, the big shocking scene where all those Gold Cloaks were murdered. But I mean, those aren't characters we were really attached to. We knew the Luther guy a little tiny bit, but and that was a plot line that was just introduced in that episode, really. So it's like, and you notice how it looked like, they reminded me of like the Last Supper painting at the end, the way they were all, I'm like, but Jesus is not a thing in this world. So why would I don't know why would they would arrange it, like make it look like the Last Supper painting. But anyways, I don't know. Like, I can't really say anything particularly happened in this episode. I found it kind of dull in a lot of places. But yeah, it's not terrible. It moves the story forward. I think it's kind of a mid-season lull. I think we can kind of expect that in most seasons of Game of Thrones. Really, a lot of seasons of television now, where it's like 8 episodes. You can expect episodes 4 and 5 to be a little bit of a dip. So I would expect episode 6 to start amping it back up a little bit in preparation for the final 2 episodes, which hopefully will be bangers. But I think we're going to start getting, ratcheting things up a little bit next week. And so this is kind of that mid-season lull that I'm not super surprised by. It's kind of true, true to, what usually happens in modern television. So it's fine. It served its purpose. We'll see what happens next week.
Great. I feel so much better now getting into this discussion, because I was going to be like, God, please don't come in being like, oh, this was so amazing. This was some interesting layout for the setup that we know we're getting, I'm just glad I wasn't missing anything, because again, I don't watch the spoiler section. So sometimes there is stuff coming up that I am not always privy to. But yeah, I mean, there's not really a whole lot more that I can add in with that. I completely agree. It's one of those weird ones, because it's not so much of a filler episode, because yes, stuff does happen that needs to happen. We do need to check in with certain characters. We need to hear back in Daemon and what's going on. And finally, we're back with Cole, though we're hoping he was going to be dead by the end of this one. But, we did need to kind of check on things, but it seemed like that was like a third of the episode, maybe a little bit more, and the rest did seem to be those tertiary, quaternary storylines that aren't really as interesting and do tend to feel more fillerish. And again, if this was actually 8 episodes, that could be sort of understandable. But again, we have 2 episodes from last season, and then we get 6 episodes for this season. That's how I'm looking at it. So there really shouldn't be that kind of lull, or it just starts to tell me that kind of what I felt with from Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's like, I feel like there's just not enough story here for you to actually tell, and thus it feels like you really got to put in this extra stuff. And what this episode really did for me is definitely let me know there's a couple of those storylines that I really am done with. It's like, I don't care anymore. I get why they're happening and I understand certain things, but I'm like, and if we never touched on this again, I would be so perfectly happy. So, yeah.
I mean, I think they really seem to be building toward the big battle that's going to happen in Tumbleton. And I think they want that to be like the season finale. So it could just happen right now. So it's like, well, we got to, do some stuff before we get we got to save that for the finale. So
Tumbleton's got to be 7 so they can do their proper wrap up at 9. I know Game of Thrones has had a predictable thing, but it worked for this, for the season breaks.
I heard somewhere, and this is not confirmed. I think it was on another YouTube video that they thought the Battle of Tumbleton, they had heard it was going to be episodes 7 and 8, which I don't know if that's true, but
that would be perfectly fine with me. Yeah. You have that beginning of the episode kind of finishes out the climax of the big one, and that gives you another half episode to wrap up.
Yeah.
Well, I could see the battle being in episode 7 and episode 8 being like the aftermath of it.
Yeah. Well, in the trailer, it looks like, they're not all fighting inside the town of Tumbleton. You see like Daemon in a field, like screaming. Like there seems to be some huge battles that are going to be happening. that not just within that town. So, yeah. But I think they're saving that for the end. So in the middle, we just kind of got to like, okay, let's just bide our time until we get to that. And so we got to do this. I mean, it is kind of a filler episode, honestly.
I think that, I mean, this isn't really spoilers, but this is stuff we usually talk about in the spoiler section. But it's not in spoiler because you know that Cole is trying to do a final battle. I think we're going to get the battle with Cole next episode. And then 7 and 8 would be Dumbledon.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we want to send Cole out in a big kind of way and get a good spotlight again, and then if we're done with him, perfectly fine.
I don't feel like we personally need a big spotlight. I think you just kill him. I too was hoping he would be killed off in this episode.
As much as this is probably something we can get into a bit later as we go into it. But I was going to say, as much as I don't like Cole, like he was a major part of this show, so I do think they do need to,
I guess.
Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the specifics of the episode. Let's talk about Rhaenyra and basically all the scenes involving her. And in my notes, I wrote it down as Rhaenyra getting paranoid because that's definitely my takeaway for her arc in this episode. It was interesting getting the small council and having the Frey woman apparently joining the council, and she was just bitching about how she couldn't get Harrenhal until finally Rhaenyra just like stopped and stared at her. She's like, "Oh, I mean, we can talk about this later," and which I like that. And it was also funny seeing Manderley kind of like explaining, it's like, "That's the bastard of Corlys," and that's the only, and Daemon giving him a nasty look. Sorry, because they're trying. It was also, and I also like that scene because it's interesting because they were cross talking. Like Rhaenyra just kept wanting to talk about Aemond and how they need to find Aemond, but Daemon was talking about the Gold Cloaks and how the Gold Cloaks too were found dead, and it's interesting because when Rhaenyra sets Daemon aside in the hallway, he was like, "Are we back on Dragonstone? Like, are you not being loyal to me anymore? You're openly defying me again? Like, we're doing this again? Like, let's just bring back those stupid grumpy old men, might as well." Like she had a point, but he was like, yeah, so he was kind of reverting a bit, but he was like, well, this is, what happened in the Gold Cloaks is important. The stuff with Aemon, like, we can deal with that later. It's not going anywhere, but this is like your fault for overreacting with the Gold Cloaks. So that was interesting. And then I don't know what they're doing with her, like why she was like in the sept with the candles and all that and trying to be religious. It's like she is maybe acting like, oh, maybe if I act all religious, the sept will like me. I don't know. That's what I got out of it. And I think Daemon even called her out on that. But you just got a sense that, that was, she was getting like preoccupied. And then the maid came and said, "Oh, Joffrey returned from the Vale." So apparently he was in the Vale. I'm just totally mistaken. He never went with the other two kids. And then she was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll see him later." And then we see her stopping by while he was asleep, sort of saying that she's not really, it seems like she's letting things bother her a lot. That's what I was getting from these scenes. Anyway, Alyssa, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, and then Brandon said in the chat, getting more paranoid, you mean? Because, I mean, we did start seeing the beginnings of that in episode 3. I didn't notice it as much last week, but I think we're gradually seeing the paranoia set in. you know, and I can't totally blame her for saying what she did to Daemon about like, oh, we're doing Dragonstone again. But I also think that he has a good point too. It's like, I mean, Aemond is probably not the number one priority right now. I mean, we'll get him, but like we also got to focus on what is happening right here in King's Landing, especially since it's kind of your own fault. So yeah, it was interesting because I don't actually think Daemon was way out of bounds here. I mean, he was behaving in the way that Daemon behaves, so he was probably coming across that way. So I don't think she's being totally paranoid here, but I also think that he's kind of a little bit in the right there. Now, as far as this, her going to the Sept or whatever that was with all the candles, I just thought it's because they like having scenes of Rhaenyra talking to somebody with all those candles. So they're like, let's just do a scene here. Like that's like in universe what the reason is. I don't know. Like I think it is that she is trying to, you know, make maybe look good to the seven or whatever to get in their good graces, which will never happen. But I kind of just read it more as a just from a meta perspective. Like, yeah, they seem to like having these scenes with usually it was Rhaenyra and Alicent, but like Alicent is, you know, wouldn't be able to do that. So let's have one with her and Daemon sitting around all these candles. That's kind of the way that I read that. But yeah, and getting back to the small council, yeah, it's interesting. They're just like kind of pulling in characters from, you know, last season. Like, let's just throw them on the small council. Like, let's put. It seemed a little bit random that the Frey woman was on there, and I don't know if did they even specify like what her job is. Did I miss that? Did they say what she is? The master of.
I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah, it's just like. I don't
Small
know.
council member number 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just and Jace did promise her Harrenhal last season. So like once again, Rhaenyra's not really living up to her promises because she gave Lady Jane a little baby dragon, which is not really what she wanted, and so she's not really following through with the promises that they're making to these people. So I don't know, but I did enjoy those scenes with Manderly and her when she was like, "Is it always like this?" It is a very dysfunctional small council. Like things are not necessarily better with all those grumpy old men left behind. It's not a very functional small council at this point. And that lady apparently doesn't even have a job. I don't know. Maybe they should bring the balls back. Maybe the balls would bring more order to the small council. I don't know. But yeah, I guess that's all I got to say about that. Darrin?
Yeah, I think I saw a lot of this. I mean, yes, I can see where Rhaenyra is getting more and more paranoid, but Rhaenyra seems very fixated on the perception of rule. This is what you are supposed to do. These things are supposed to happen. This is supposed to be my function. I think she is so fixated on what is she supposed to do. She's really missing a lot of what she needs to do right now. And normally you would have help with that with your small council if it was an actually like well-oiled machine. I mean, say what you will about Otto Hightower, he knew how to get things done. And while Daemon is very effective, there is still that level of competition. Even though Daemon is, and I think he's very correct in saying, look, I am supporting you. I am behind you. I am not a rival in this. He still is, you know, one of those, it's like, I'll take care of it. And I don't really need to talk to you about it because I can get things, you know, I can get things done, but he's not good with the communication part. He's not good at the politic that kind of needs to happen in that. With everyone else, it's just nobody's effective. That little scene, everyone's bickering. You got the two new people that are like gossiping in the corner. Oh, that's this person here. Oh, yeah, this person's doing this and so on. It's like they're not working as a machine, you know. Yes, the Daemon stuff is on a priority list, but if you had a hand, an actual hand there, who was able to actually steer things and put stuff in a priority and make sure everything got discussed so nothing got really sidetracked, that would be one thing. But Corlys is gone. Looks like Alan is there as a substitute, but look, he doesn't know anything about doing any of this stuff. So he is not very helpful. And he, as you know, a bastard and only recently kind of recognized, he feels very much below everyone. So how can he argue and stand up when that's something that the Hand very much needs to do? I totally agree that Daemon was not wrong about it. Again, it's just the communication. And by communication, part of me means, yes, Brandon, stop with the High Valyrian. Okay? I get it's their secret language and all, but it gets distracting. And I think sometimes it's like, you got to try so hard to put all of this in another language that it's not, I don't know. It feels like they start losing the Valyrian. You know, it starts to seem like a distraction as opposed to something very cool to add on. But yeah, I think she's just too fixated. Again, I think that's why she was at the Sept. It's like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? And then they'll see that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and then they'll recognize that stuff. You know, she's fixated on that. Yes, you don't want people insulting her lineage and saying that her boys are bastards and things like that. But if you're doing a great job, that stuff's not really going to be a problem. You know, it's like she does have an issue of focus. And I think it is the paranoia and the I'm in all this alone. If the machine worked and supported her, you know, she might be able to deal with these a little bit more. Now it's just everyone's highborn, so they think they know what they're doing. And it's that idea that successful people, because you do one job great, you can do any job great. And I feel like everybody here is cursed with that. They may be good at one thing, but everyone thinks that makes them great at all of these other things. And I think that's just doomed to fail. So that's kind of what I got for it out of it.
I liked the contrast between like the Manderley and the Frey and how they seem to be like
oh yeah,
and the way that like I can't remember what it was, but they said something that was like belittling. Oh, those small folk. And,
yeah, they were talking about the people Flea Bottom. How
Flea Bottom.
How like degenerate. I forget the words he used.
Yeah, and
yeah,
you can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Flea Bottom is a realm to its own, or something like that. Yeah. And the way that Mysaria looked at him is like it's very, like very well done. It shows the contrast between everything. And I actually thought that Alan was doing a pretty good job of Hand, better than Corlys. Corlys would just stand off and say nothing.
Well, he is trying to do the job. That is true.
But Darrin is right. He's not really. He doesn't have the experience.
Yes, that's true.
Corlys did also suck as the Hand because he was just like, I defer to the Queen. Like, come on, dude. Like, I mean, I agree with Darrin. Like, as much as we hate Otto Hightower and how horrible a person he was, he knew what he was doing. Like,
sure,
he got it done. Yeah. Like, or a Tywin Lannister type, like somebody who like knows what the fuck they're doing and can keep shit together. Like that's what Rhaenyra needs, and she doesn't have anybody like that.
I still think that this council is working better for her than the ones with a bunch of old men that would just like disagree with every single thing she said.
I mean,
yes, but that again, that's like, oh, you didn't trip over your own feet. Congratulations.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very low bar. Yeah. I don't think that I think this is maybe marginally better than that one. It's not a really functional small council.
Yeah.
Well, and I think part of the problem is that I run into with most of this episode. It's like, I know there's stuff that you need to get done. I don't know if it's a writing quality thing, it's a time thing, it's an overall show running thing. But I'm like, the problem I'm finding is like, even these little things aren't interesting. I felt at the very least the little side stories would be interesting in Game of Thrones and some of the other stuff. And again, I hate to do comparisons, but it's the only thing that I have to compare it to, for that kind of political intrigue. And I find a lot of this stuff, I'm just like, God, I don't even find the intrigue very intriguing.
Yeah, I find it interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, so the thing with the High Valyrian, you guys were talking about that earlier. Actually, that made sense to me because they were out in public. So I was like, they're discussing sensitive things. We see these other two people lighting candles. So it seemed like when those other people came in, they switched to High Valyrian. Their
timing and choice of use, was completely right. I'm just like, okay, so don't put people around them so they don't have.
Yeah, I'm seeing stress-free K in the chat said that they spoke it so well, it sounded beautiful. I kind of agree. I didn't really mind it.
Well, so here was where I was at. Like, it was hot, so I had my air conditioner on it, and I couldn't really hear the audio, and so I kept turning it up louder, and like I still they would go blah blah blah, and I had to like rewind to hear what people were saying. So thank God I can just read what they were saying. So I actually love it. I wasn't struggling with the audio; like I could just read everything that they were saying. So I actually that was probably I like that scene a lot.
Well, you can always put subtitles on for the whole episode.
That's true. I could do that. Yeah.
But and also like I will just say the thing with the cats, I did like how they replaced the rats, like they're just randomly all over the background throughout the episode. I did like that, and we talked before about if they're gonna do it, they're gonna tie it into the theme, and I couldn't think of it, but I watched a video saying that like the theme of this episode was like hunters. It was like the Gold Cloaks hunting for people and the other traders hunting for them and Cole hunting for the other thing. And so that the cats are like hunters, and that was tied into the thing.
Trying to hunt Aemond. And...
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right.
But we didn't see any cats catching rats, so I mean,
I was surprised. I don't know if they will do that, but maybe.
No, I thought it would just like mirror the tension, when Rhaenyra can be arguing with Daemon, and then in the background, like,
or they go complete 70s style and just do a quick zoom on into the cat, and then like a rat going falling over, and, like, just do it in dramatic 70s zoomo vision. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, I'm trying to bring up my notes. It's not coming up. Hold on. Fighting. All right. So, let's talk about Baela and Addam. We got a brief scene with them, which I always love when we get more of these characters, because I think we don't see enough of these characters. And we saw, it was interesting, we saw them at the small council, and because they're like, go out and look for Aemond again, and Addam was just like, Lady Bella hasn't eaten, we're tired or whatever, and she's like, okay, I'll send Daemon instead. And it's like, well, fuck you, I'm not going. So I guess they didn't send them out again. But it was interesting that Rhaenyra refused to sort of engage or look at Baela, so it's obvious that she's still upset with her, and Baela can tell. So it was interesting getting her perspective and her taking out on Addam and also saying like that she does feel guilty because she feel like she wanted. Like she went with Jace because she wanted to. She wanted to sort of make a name for herself and prove herself, which is something that we talked about. And when we talked about episode 1, that was kind of the pitfalls of youth and them like thinking that they can prove themselves. So it's interesting that she's facing the consequences of that now, and like saying that, I was going to be queen, but now she'll probably just marry me off to some dumb lord in order to get money. Which, considering their dire situation with money at the moment, actually not that far fetched of a thing that could happen. But it was interesting. Addam's like just trying to cheer him up, and I like sort of. She had a similar like chemistry with Alan as well, so and it makes sense that they're getting along. I think I watched the video when they referred to him as half brother and sister, but that's not true. He's more like an uncle or something. I don't know how that works because she's Corlys's grandfather and he's Corlys's son. So, or Corlys is her grandfather. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
that's what we call illegal.
Yeah, it's Targaryens for you.
And that if they can extend that to the Valyrians, yeah, I mean, that would work. But,
well, Baela is Targaryen as well.
Right. But, well, I guess, yeah, and he hasn't been recognized as. Yeah.
But, so I found this a very good character. As I said, I like seeing more. I like seeing Addam actually interact more because I feel like we haven't gotten enough with him. And he does feel like, I like that Rhaenyra included him in their small council. It was mainly for updates on finding Vhagar, but I have a feeling that even if that she would never do that with Hugh and Ulf, especially not Ulf. So it does seem like they are giving Addam a bit more more like trusts him more and stuff like that. So it's interesting. But anyway, Darren, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I did enjoy seeing the two of them there. I completely see where Baela is coming from, with the urge to no, I can go out there, I can keep doing, I don't need to rest. It's yes, I feel like the need to prove myself because she won't even look at me. But and the underlying guilt of what motivated her to go out. I mean, those are always kind of the interesting things. Mostly, I really like the interaction between her and Addam. I mean, it does feel very suitor-y, even though they are related. And it took me a minute to realize, oh, wait a minute. I was like, oh, these two look great. Wait a minute. No, that relation is not required. But yes, it's Targaryen. But even if it just ends up being that I have a family member that will be that kind of support that will always be there, I think that's something that she feels that she is lacking. And I think that gives him kind of to work as a protector, to kind of step in. I think that relationship is kind of inseparable siblings type kind of thing, I think would be probably better for her in the long run. But I did really enjoy seeing them more, and that was one of the little side storylines. I was like, if you gave me more of that, I would be good with that. I want to see more of that.
Yeah, I actually thought Addam was being annoying at first, or he's just like, oh, the Lady Baela needs to get her rest. Shut the fuck up. She's just because she's a girl, she can't do her own thing. But then when it got down to it, and she explained to him, I mean, this is why she is so motivated to do these things, is because she feels like she needs to prove herself again. I think because Rhaenyra won't even look at me anymore. So I gotta go. Maybe if I catch Aemond, I mean, that's the subtext. I don't think that was said, but that's what I was reading from it, that I need to prove myself again. And I don't know, when she started, kind of venting to Addam, then he was a good listener. So I was like, okay, you're forgiven. But yeah, I agree with you. I like that dynamic there. We got a good, last time we saw Baela a couple episodes ago, we got a good scene with her and Alan. So now we get a good scene with her and Addam. And yeah, these are characters we do need to see more of. So hopefully they do play a part in the final 3 episodes, or at least the final 2. So we'll see. But I'm this was a scene that I was glad to get. I was glad to see these characters again.
Cool. All right. So let's talk about the brief scene we got with Ormond and Daeron over in Tumbleton, which is very interesting. I heard a comparison of Ormond like ordering like all the trees to be felled from here to Bitterbridge was like Saruman and the two towers be like burn, forest burn. But yeah, it's practical. It's showing that he's getting ready. But we had it was interesting when Darrin was talking about the the studies. It's like a lot of dry histories, and you can tell, like I could tell that he's like perked up as like dry. You say, and he's like, oh no, I mean not really dry. I mean I didn't really mean it. Like it does show again. It's re-emphasizing like that he's scared of them. That Ormond is basically abusive, which we see a bit of the classic. We lose a board game and throw the throwing the pieces on the board, which is classic sort of thing. But I did like how, I mean, even though Darrin is scared of him, so it's implying that he has been abusive before, but this time he was just like, don't ever apologize for victory. So it's like he's trying to build him up more, but he's sort of made him timid, I believe. And then this is what I was referring to when we get the long story about the Toad of Dorne, Yellow Toad or whatever her name was. I remember I read about this in Fire and Blood and in World of Ice and Fire and stuff, so I was familiar with the story. But they were definitely telling it to sort of re-emphasize. That's basically like what he's doing. And it was interesting that he like respected her, and because Darren's like, oh, is she a hero or villain? And he's like, yeah, it's not really about that. It's about like she was a very had very good tactical mind and knew battle, and that's basically what he's doing, as we learned in this episode, as we learned the people who are attacking the Gold Cloaks are working directly for him. And so using those sort of, because he realized like if you're in a situation and you're totally overpowered, like the Yellow Toad was with Aegon's dragons, and they're that way now with all of Rhaenyra's dragons, so they need to use different tactics, more of like guerrilla tactics, which is also what we see Criston Cole doing. So it's like a similar vibe, but it shows that he's got a real dangerous mind, though, that he's got a really tactical minded, very more like militaristic than Otto, like I believe. So he's like a really dangerous foe to have. And then he had those coins with Darren's face on it. It was just like where are they gonna spend that money? Like who's gonna accept it? But anyway, so Alyssa, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, who did he get to mint those coins? Like who made them? I don't know. That was a little bit far-fetched to me. I don't know. I have to admit, I didn't particularly like the scene. I mean, I did feel like we did need to see Ormond after last week, like to just not have him and Darrin in the episode at all wouldn't have felt right either. But I don't know. I was kind of like I wasn't really paying close attention to the scene. I had to rewind it and like listen to the story that he was telling because I was like distracted and just not very interested in the scene. Yeah. I know he's a tactic. He's got a wise tactical mind. He's very. We got that last week. Like I don't feel like this added anything new to his character for me. Like to me, it was just yes, Darrin is afraid of him. I know that. Like I don't know. It just didn't seem to add anything new. But at the same time, it served the purpose of here's Ormond and Daeron. This is what they're doing, and so because it would have felt weird to not have them in the episode at all. So here they are, but yeah, I don't know. It just felt this was like the very definition of filler to me. I don't think it added anything new. That's how I read it.
Okay, I don't think you guys understand. Those gold coins are was a Class A shares in the new Hightower IPO to run Westeros. So if you've got some of these original, those are going to be worth so much more than just the regular Darrin coin, that's going to be issued, after we get in there. So it shows that you're a high class investor. I don't know. Maybe Ormond's got some kind of scam going on with that. Everyone's trying to raise money. War's very expensive here. Sometimes you got to sell a daughter. Sometimes you've got to mint a coin, and just convince people. So, yeah, that was those were kind of funny. And then to me, it's just one of those arrogant statements of like, see, I've already got these plans now. I've already got the money all figured out here. It's just it's that arrogant, educated plan type kind of thing that I think is just helps frame Ormond's character in this. The fact that he's actually like paying the assassins with these coins is also kind of interesting. But again, you've got to send out these Class A shares.
Wait, did they say that's how he's paying them, is with those coins?
Well, that's how they found the coin that one guy ends up giving.
Right.
Coin.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like, how did you get this? Well, I was promised.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, yeah, Alyssa, I mean, I kind of agree with you. There wasn't like a whole lot that we got out of this outside of real character stuff. On the other hand, this was a very well executed scene to show of the abusive relationship that we have going on here. Is he hurt? Is it all physical? Is any of it physical? Was it physical and now not? Is it just emotional? It doesn't really matter. The response is going to be the same. Anything that goes against what he feels is Ormond's interest, he feels is going to get back at him. Darrin. We see it when he mentions the dryness, that he's not interested in the histories. Ormond doesn't see that as a point to go, let me correct you. It's let me show you why you're wrong. Even though he wants to tell him, don't apologize for a victory, his response is obviously one of those of like, how dare you beat me? I am better than you. It's like those parents there's some parents that want their kids to achieve more, to achieve greater heights than them, to build upon them. And there's other parents that are like, you're never going to be as good as me, so don't even try. It's like Ormond is obviously the other type of parent in this. So, yeah.
I gotta say, I didn't get that from it. I didn't get that he was upset that he'd lost. Or he might have been like he threw the pieces on the ground, but I got the impression that he's saying like, no, like don't apologize for victory. You should win.
See, the way I got that was the excuse he used to channel his anger, because Darrin reacted immediately like, oh, what happens? Let's go again. Sometimes we don't.
I think that he wasn't upset about Darrin defeating him. I think he was upset about Darrin apologizing for it and being like and making excuses for it.
Sure, no, but what I think is I think Darrin winning upset him. Darrin saw that, and his instant abusey reaction is to retreat and fall back. And so Darrin was able to, or Ormond was able to use his anger at being defeated to turn into a lesson of, oh, I'm not angry that I'm defeated. No, you're wrong with that. I'm angry that you apologized. Yeah, that's why I'm angry. I mean, that's how I got it. It can go either way, I suppose.
Yeah.
It just shows that this is what their relationship is.
Yeah, sure.
And I think, yeah, I like the story of the yellow toad and everything. And I think it just further underlines that while Ormond plays to be a high class, respectable, educated, proper fighter, he is not an honorable fighter by any means. He has no problem decepting, lying, doing any of that stuff, giving his word and taking it back. So to me, it's just one of those like that defines his character. It's like, yeah, good, bad. Hey, it's whether you win, right?
Yes, yeah, no, exactly.
So
But I do agree with Alyssa that we already knew that.
yeah,
Like that these scenes don't really give us any new, and we also already knew that Darrin was like abused by him. The one piece of information I think we got from it, I don't even think it was this scene, I think it was a later scene, was that we saw that those agents in King's Landing that are killing the Gold Cloaks are working directly to him. We got the pigeon letter or whatever. So, but we could have gleaned that from the fact that the dude had the coin anyway.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess we did. Yeah, we did need that. Yeah. So, okay,
yeah, they could even found the coin. Go, oh, this is Darrin. It says King Darrin on it,
yeah,
and come to that whole conclusion as well, So
yeah,
they needed the 55 minutes, okay?
yeah. They need to give the actors need to earn their residuals from the episode. So anyway, let's move over to John Locke and Larys. He don't tell me what I can't do. Now, it was kind of interesting because Larys like said what I was thinking that you've done nothing but whinge. And I wonder, like, I like how, yeah, Aegon, of course, probably his, reaction after having to kiss the shitty boot was like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here, and we need to go somewhere else. I need to go find Aemond and kill him, and then he was whining, and I think Larys, I didn't know if this was like just tactics being like, okay, the only reason they get him to shut up and come back is just to tell him what for. But I think all this stuff he was saying was absolutely from the heart, like like truthful of all you've done is whinge and go from the battle that you were not invited to, that you got drunkenly went into and stumbled into and all that. So that was cool. I will I will say I enjoyed that. But of course we get the reveal that Tywin Lannister is indeed alive, which I thought he would be because we didn't see his body. It was interesting that he shows up at Rook's Rest. Like, was he just so happened to stumble upon Aegon? It's like, I don't know, this is a bit Hollywoodish to me that he just happened to be like, and they were like talking about, oh, we're gonna get a ship, and he shows up, a ship to where? Like the way he enters, and it's like, it's Thailand. Dun, dun, dun. And he didn't mention, I missed this the first time I watched this episode, but I watched it again, and the second time I caught that he said he has a band of sellswords. So I was like, yeah, like, where did he get them? But anyway, whatever. He has a band of sellswords. It was interesting, like, hearing Larys and Tywin argue with each other, like, right in like public when anyone can hear. And of course that one creepy guy sneaks up and is listening to all them talking about the king and finds Aegon's crown. But then then Aegon just kills him with that shard from Sunfire, which, yeah, I thought that they were gonna hold off on his comeuppance, but yeah, maybe to the next episode. But no, you guys predicted it. Was like, that guy, as soon as he made Aegon kiss his boot, that guy's dead. Like, he's so dead. So this is interesting. Because Tylan wanted to go to Castle Rock or Lannisport, and Larys. It's like, oh yeah, of course you do, so that the Lannisters can claim the crown or whatever, but so Larys still wants to go to Bravos, and so there's an arguing with this. So it's unclear on what's going to happen. But yeah, and what's going to happen at Rook's? Probably no consequences for killing that dude. I don't even know who's going to be in charge now. But anyway, yeah, it was kind of like Aegon had that one liner. He's like, "Call me your grace" or something like that. Anyway, yeah, Darren, we'll start with you on this one.
Well, I do enjoy the Larys Aegon stuff, so it was nice to see them here. They moved it kind of quickly. Larys got the great whinging speech, which I had to laugh because it made me think of the Hound. Sounds like you're whinging. So, and again, it gives the short little development arc for Aegon there of at least, having these ideas, seeing that, okay, perhaps I need to be a little bit more realistic on, what's actually achievable and what situation I'm actually in. So, I mean, I like that mainly because I'm curious where they're going to go with this. I completely agree with Lannister, again, just popping out of, from off screen, just like, okay, ready to meet up. Let's get this stuff done. I've got a ship ready and some sellswords. Let's go. It is a little Hollywood. It is a little easy, but if it's moving things forward right now, I'm completely fine with this. To me, this was one of those side stories where it's not that I could have taken more with it. I like seeing it. I think this was the right level of what to do with it and the right pace to move this character from these characters from A to B. Plus, I don't know, man. I was kind of with Aegon there when he stabbed a foot guy. And it just seems like, again, Aegon is problematic, but when he has to get something done, man, he's all stabby. He's ready to get in the dirt, and you got to kind of respect that a little bit.
Yeah, unlike Rhaenyra, who does not neck stab people when she should, like you said.
Yes.
Yeah. So first, getting back to the Larys, reaming out Aegon, that whole speech. I did feel it was a little. I mean, it is absolutely true. I mean, everything he said is absolutely true, but it's a little bit of a pot calling the kettle black situation. I mean, you're a terrible man. I mean, you did kind of brutally murder your own father and brother. So, I mean, it's not like you're a great guy either. But everything that he said about Aegon was absolutely true. And I think it was kind of a mix of he's saying that to try to, kick Aegon in the ass and get him to move forward, but also probably felt a little bit cathartic too. Now, someone needs to say that to Larys too. You killed your own brother and father. You're a terrible man too. But anyway, I did like that scene, and I cracked up laughing when he did the don't tell me what I can't do. I was like, really? Did they just borrow David Lindelof for one line? Like, what did they do? Just throwing that in there, that was really funny. Now, as far as Tywin Lannister, yeah, I felt the same as you all. It just felt to me like he was deposited into the story where the plot needed him to be. Like, what happened after he got pushed off the boat? How did he end up all the way in Rook's Rest? Where did the sellswords come in? Who knows? Like, it's where the plot needed him to be. And they did change his storyline from the book, as we have talked about before. He did not go to the Triarchy in the book, so he was never pushed off a boat. None of that happened. So he was actually in the Red Keep when Rhaenyra took over, and he ends up getting put in the Black Cell, and I believe he ended up getting like tortured and disfigured and stuff. But he was in the Black Cell, so what is he going to do now? I don't know, because he's not supposed to be here in the book. So I think because they don't have that source material for him, they're just like, they don't really have a story for him. Like, yeah, he's here now. It's fine. Like, and so I'm okay with it. I'm willing to hand wave it. It's like, whatever. I don't need to see Tywin crawling out onto the shore, and then I don't need to see all that. So, well, I'll just accept it. And I agree with Mark. I did think that Aegon would we're gonna wait a little bit before he got his comeuppance with that guy. I thought it felt a little bit anticlimactic to me. I don't know, because it just like there was no like confrontation. I expected like more of a confrontation, like more of a revenge thing, and not just this guy quietly sneaking up on Aegon, not saying a word, and then Aegon just killing him. Felt a little bit anticlimactic to me. In the spoilery section, Mark and I had a theory about how he might get his comeuppance, but we can't really say it because it's spoilery. But that's not happening. It felt really anticlimactic to me. I don't know, but I do think that this might be like. I kind of do want to see Aegon. I mean, as much as I hate Aegon, I kind of want to see him get his mojo back a little bit. Let's get and same with Aemond. We'll talk about him later. Like, I want to see them get back onto being like the horrible people that they are. It's more interesting that way. I'm glad they didn't dwell on Aegon, Criston Coling it up and just being self-hating for too long. I think we're gonna kind of move on to now we're getting somewhere with the story. So this was something that I really felt moved the story forward. Or this character forward with Aegon. So now I really want to see what they're going to do. And now it's not just a comedy duo, it's a comedy trio. You have the adventures of Aegon and Larys and Aegon. I'm curious to see what these three are going to be up to next week.
Yeah. All right. So, I was going to say that with Aegon, I think the season's done a good job of actually making me sympathetic towards him. Like before, I just thought he was an asshole and I didn't care what happened to him. But yeah, I think they're doing a good job of getting you to have some sympathy for him. I still don't feel that way about Aemond yet. But anyway, we'll get into that.
If they end up making Aegon the surprising hero of the story, that would be interesting. I have no idea where the history or how this actually ends itself out, but that would be an interesting like turn of events because he was like the worst. So,
all right. So let's actually talk about Alicent. She had an interesting storyline trying to first getting Orwell to deliver the moon tea, which we've seen in the first couple seasons a lot, and even referenced that when she tries to get Helaena to drink it, but Helaena refuses, and she even brings up like, "Oh, I had to take it several times," and even the Queen Rhaenyra, she had to take it too, and but no, Helaena is insistent not to take it, and that's clearly because she already lost a son and is still traumatized from that and doesn't want to lose another, even though there's a very terrible implications and they're terrified. And it was interesting, Mysaria finding out about it and going in. And at first, Alicent was trying to like bluff her way and lie, but then she saw Mysaria sniffing, and she's like, she knows exactly what it is. So I'll just say it's for me. And just the way Alicent's like, well, I might as well drink it, then just drinks it in front of her like that. That felt like clearly performative. So I think Mysaria definitely knew something was up, which is why she did keep a watch on her. And Alicent was like, okay, so if we can't use the moon tea, then we got to get out of here. Like that's the only other choice. And so she's arranging to leave. But when of course she leaves, Mysaria is like, did you not think I'd be watching you? Like I love seeing these two together. Because we hadn't yet, and they did acknowledge that. They're like, oh, I only know you by reputation. It was interesting seeing their interactions, and then Alicent being like, don't tell Rhaenyra because I think you could use Hightower's having owe you a favor, and it did seem like she was considering that, and that she did take that into account because, well, at least in this episode, she didn't tell Rhaenyra unless that happens in the next episode. But it does seem like she would want to sort of have a safeguard and would be smart in that matter because she can see the issues creeping in with Rhaenyra's rule. She's like, well, maybe it wouldn't be so bad to have a backup plan. And is in fact what Larys did as well, like playing both sides. So you get the impression that she was doing that. And then later you get the scene where the cats come in handy and the cats are like smelling something and lead the way to Helaena to find the secret passage in their room. I didn't like how this episode kind of like ended their story on a cliffhanger because they were in the passageway and it was blocked, and then they can't get back in because the door's shut, and then the light goes off. Oh, what's gonna happen? Let's find out next week. I don't know. So, but anyway, Alyssa, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I didn't like the ending of that either. Like, oh, so they're just trapped in there now? They're just going to be in there forever? Like, I don't know. I agree. I didn't really. I just figured they would just go back once they got to that wall, but it was like, oh no, we're trapped in here. Okay, well, I don't know. What are they going to do about that? Anyways, yeah. So I thought it was interesting. We were talking last week about maybe Rhaenyra was going to force Helaena to take the moon tea. Just as a kinder way of doing it, because Rhaenyra is trying to be as nice to Alicent and Helaena as she can be, that she would force Helaena to take the moon tea, but it's Alicent, and that makes total sense that Alicent would be afraid of what's going to happen if you have this child, so you have to take this moon tea, and I like we're getting more Helaena this season and getting, I don't know, I feel like she was always just, I don't know, really flighty and just saying weird stuff and just randomly just spouting out prophecies and saying weird shit about bugs. And so I feel like we're actually getting more of her character, that she, she's really, I think her children is all that she has. And so she was resistant to leaving Jaehaera behind. And I liked her comeback to Alicent when Alicent was like, oh, well, maybe we'll meet up with her later. And she's like, you look away from me when you lie. Like, I liked that interaction. And I think when they were right before Mysario catches them, she said something about Jaehaera that was another lie or something, and it didn't ended up happening because they ended up getting caught. But I like those interactions, and yeah, I do like the interactions between Mysario and Alicent because, this is a character pairing we have yet to see, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And I kind of had the same takeaway as you, Mark. I feel like Mysario seemed to be like, yeah, maybe I'll just keep this in my back pocket here. I don't think she is planning to tell Rhaenyra, at least not right away. If it becomes to her advantage at some point to reveal that information, then she would. But I think she is hanging on to that right now, just in case. That's the impression I got out of it. She is in this constant battle with Daemon over Rhaenyra's affection. So maybe if she loses that and Rhaenyra, if she sees Rhaenyra going a little bit too far for Daemon, like, she's not totally as loyal to Rhaenyra as maybe it might have seemed previously. She needs to have a backup plan. So yeah, I read it that way too. So it'll be interesting to see. But I don't think she's going to tell Rhaenyra.
Oh no, she's the new Shay. No, sorry. Look, the cats are going to have to obviously save them from their little trapped in the keep. Oh my God, don't know where to go. Follow the cats. Cats get to win something, and we'll kill a rat on top of it there and save them from the onslaught of rats. Cats are going to be heroes next episode. That's my call. Look, This one I was a little split. One, I do appreciate how quickly the situation was dealt with. Like, oh my God, you're pregnant. We got to fix that because it's going to be problems otherwise. Ordering up the moon tea. Yes, the completely ridiculous. Oh, this was mine that I asked for me. So I should drink this now. Right? Yeah. Cheers. It was a little overly obvious. It is interesting seeing the two of them sort of interact. But and I agree with Helaena. It's good to see a little bit more of her character. What Daryl Seymour here in the chat, Helaena put her foot down this episode. Yeah, she really did. And I did love the you look away when you're like, she calls it, because that's a great thing. Helena's like any fool, sees a lot more and calls it out. Just nobody really listens to her or believes her, or they always forgive her for because she's a little off. So I love the fact that they have that bit of a dynamic. On the other hand, I am also at this point where I'm like, I'm kind of done with Alicent. I feel like this is just, again, we're putting her in scenes because we got to put her in scenes and have things happening. And we got to do the pregnancy thing so we can have the conflict, and then we can do some stuff and get them lost behind doors. Hopefully they won't be trapped behind the walls forever. Again, the cats will save them. Though, if Indiana Jones has taught me anything, you always push on the breasts to open up the secret doorway. I think that's the key. She's just got to remember that one. But yeah, I'm kind of bored with Alicent's storyline. It feels just really kind of tagged on, and these are the moments where I'm kind of like, I'm not sure where they're going, because they seem to be doing just a lot of stuff to do a lot of stuff. But maybe they will surprise me, and I will be always happy to be wrong. But if we had less Alicent at the moment, I would be fine with that.
So there was a couple things Helaena said in this episode that are like, wonder if the weird Helaena things. Like, we saw her outside, like, talking to her daughter about the bug, the caterpillar. Is like, oh, it's eating nightshade, and you gotta be careful because you eat nightshade that could kill you. And I'm like, that's a Chekhov's gun. That's gotta be a Chekhov's gun situation. They're not gonna throw a line in there like that for no reason. And then later, she says she's like really weird about, oh, I need to see the moon. I have to see the moon. I need to go see the moon. I'm like, why? Like, is that gonna be something else that's gonna make sense in a later episode? Like, oh, okay.
Well, with the nightshade, I think she actually said not eat, don't touch, because she was the kid was going for the caterpillar that was eating the nightshade. And oh no, don't touch because it could be sick. So I'm wondering if it's more of a secreted thing that will come up, like don't touch or don't get around that. But yeah, that was a very obvious Chekhov's plant introduced. Maybe the moon will guide them out from outside, from underward, the reflection on the water thing or something. Yeah,
maybe. All right, so let's move over. Where are we at now? Let's talk about Aemond and Alys. So we get a couple of sellswords coming to Harrenhal looking for Aemond, because as we already been established, Rhaenyra's offered Harrenhal to anyone who's able to kill Aemond. And the first group that comes up are clearly a bunch of idiots that didn't really know what they're doing. And I like how Alys easily scared them away, and she did seem to have some sort of witch powers, summon these bats that came and freaked them all out. But yeah, the next group wasn't as easy to scare off. But before we see them, we see Aemond, and he's having visions or nightmares or whatever, and he seems very, very affected by this, and having he seems very vulnerable, and having, dreams of his brother laughing, and so we're getting the creepy dreams. I don't think we're gonna spend as much time on it as we did with Daemon having his creepy visions, but it's obvious we knew it was gonna happen, and it does get the point that Alys is sort of manipulating him, and that he does see her as his caregiver. I think, does he even call her mother at one point? Yeah, he
does.
He has weird mommy issues, has been established. So he's getting that sort of weird attachment to her in this episode, which is very interesting. But yeah, but then we get the second group of sellswords who I get the impression they're from the Iron Islands, because they mentioned something about making you my salt wife, which is an Iron Islands reference. And they're a bit like, so I was wondering, like, how powerful are Alys's powers? Is she going to be able to summon creatures to kill these guys? But no, Aemond comes, and maybe she summoned him to come to save her. But and so Aemond shows up, and this shows that he's kind of devoted to her. Another question I have, or a question that's asked in this episode, is what is up with Vhagar? Like, where is he? What is he up to? They mentioned earlier that he burned down this village. We see this giant footprint, and Aemond is like, no, he wouldn't abandon me, and he's like dreaming about Vhagar, and Alys is like insisting, oh yeah, he just went away, which doesn't seem right. It does seem like she's lying. And so I think we earlier speculated that maybe she's like put a spell on Vhagar to make Vhagar fuck off or go away. Maybe she's giving Vhagar weird visions and dreams. I don't know. I'm curious to see what's going on with Vhagar. But anyway, Darren, we'll start with you on this one.
Well, I think we can use last season as a great shorthand, as we're just seeing the other side now of what was happening to Daemon. I think Aemond, while he's been healing, has been drugged and is going on whatever little journey that Daemon was going on last season, in order to, kind of have that savior connection with Alys Rivers, which seems perfectly in character for her. She was like, well, didn't really work on Daemon. This guy's younger and stronger. Let's try with him. My guess is Alys has probably just told Vhagar that, like, he's healing, he's going to be busy a while, go eat. We'll call you when she's back. I mean, she does seem to have, at least with the bat attack, some sort of communion with animals skill. Or she just really knows Harrenhal well enough that, like, oh, at 4:30, this is when the bats fly through here. But I got to say, I love, again, just her manipulation with people, how easy it is, how much she knows Harrenhal, that she's really claiming this. And by the time that second group comes, ascending like, the cliffs of insanity up the sides there to get to the top. And yeah, if they're Iron Islands, that actually would totally make sense that would be their approach. I love how frustrated she is at this point. Like, all right, I'm starting to get tired about this. I know she's got a thing out, but now, now I'm upset. So I was actually really curious. I thought that's when Vhagar was going to show up. Because it seemed like that she was like, okay, I have been messing around. Now I've got to get serious with this. So the fact that Aemond chooses that moment to, like, awaken and show up, I think is, I don't know, just more fortuitous than anything else. The fates working with Alys, in that sense. But yeah, I love that. To me, this is going to be a little bit more interesting. I really like Alys Rivers. I like the character. I like the mystery that we have going on here. And I think Aemond is one of the more interesting side characters. I would love for this to now move forward, that we could actually use last season as a shortcut and go, okay, so this is everything that's happened with Aemond, and go. and then move this stuff forward. But I'm really curious where they're going to go with this one. This is definitely one of those storylines I like. And anytime, Brad, oh man, Princess Bride references all the way.
Yeah, I definitely do think Alice is responsible for Vhagar's disappearance. Whether she does have some kind of connection to animals. We saw her with an owl last season too. And I think she said she was an owl the last season. So yeah, and the bat thing seemed very haunted housey to me. like I don't know, a very like old Dracula movie or something. But it was cool. So yeah, I don't know if she has a connection to animals and she's able to, tell Vhagar to fuck off or whatever. I don't know, but she's responsible in some way. She's definitely lying. I definitely see her trying to control and manipulate Aemond. And I think it's working. I think she sees Aemond as maybe. I think Darrin was kind of onto something. I think she does see. Well, it didn't work with Daemon. I think she sees Aemond as more easier to manipulate, honestly. And I saw a video that asked the question, well, why wouldn't Alyce just kill Aemond and claim Harrenhal from Rhaenyra herself? Which I had thought about too, but I think she's pissed off at Daemon for not giving her Harrenhal, and I think she wants revenge against Daemon and Rhaenyra because Daemon is aligned with Rhaenyra. That's how I'm reading it, and so she wants to manipulate Aemon now and use Daemon's enemy now against him to kind of get her revenge. So I think it's a little personal for her because if all she wanted was Harrenhal, then she could just be like, okay, just kill Aemond and okay, Rhaenyra, give me Harrenhal now. But I feel like it's a little more personal for her. She's actually pissed off at Daemon for after all she did for him. That's how he treated her. Yeah, and I think we're gonna. There's only 3 episodes left, and there's only so much screen time they can devote to Aemond. So I agree. I think they're going to speed this up a little bit from what we saw in last season. I'm curious where they're going with this. Because I read the book, but it's a lot of things are different, and so I'm very curious. Whether, especially by the end of this season, where Aemond is going to be at the end of the season. It doesn't seem like he's going to be involved in the battle. So what are they doing with him? Is Vhagar going to come back? This is things we need to know.
Well, and if we have parallel storylines, you might be able to pull a parallel between Alyce and Cole, who both seem to be, again, if Alyce just wanted Harrenhal, or that was the most important, there is an easy path. People are coming to kill the guy that she has to claim it, that would be a potential path for her to do so. But kind of like Cole, I think in a way she's like, look, I'm tired of people telling me what I can do or trying to manipulate. I'm going to claim it on my own. I'm going to make it mine as opposed to asking permission for it type kind of thing. So we might have something like that going on a little bit as well. But I agree, Alyssa, is that she wants more than just Harrenhal out of this. Otherwise, there would be a way that she could do that.
Well, and I think that it's also a matter of that she doesn't trust Rhaenyra to be true to her word. Like if she did go and kill Aemond, be like, oh, okay, I killed Aemond, give me Harrenhal now. She feels like Rhaenyra won't actually honor that, particularly after what Daemon was like, oh, yeah, I ain't giving you shit, sort of thing. So I think that's definitely part of it. And I have another theory on why, which I'll have to talk about in the spoiler section later. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about everyone's favorite emo, Criston Cole. So this is interesting that the episode opens with him doing, these guerrilla tactics, and he's burning bridges, and he's doing damage. He's slowing their Riverman army from getting to Tumbleton, and is being a pain in the ass. And we get the scene with Lord Tully and what's that guy's name? Roddy the Star.
No, the other guy,
the Stark guy.
Oh yeah, I forget. I can't remember his name.
Rodden or Roddy or something.
Yeah, Roderick.
Roderick. Yeah, Roderick something.
Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon's gonna tell us. But the other guy was like Lord Piper's. Roddy the Ruin. That's it.
Roddy the Ruin. The other guy was actually apparently named Peter Piper because I saw a video where it's like, oh, and he picked a pepper. Peter Piper picked a pepper.
Yeah.
Their descendants married, and thus how you got Roddy Piper.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Exactly.
But did I don't know if I remember this, but did Lord Piper die?
Yeah. Cole killed him. Yeah.
In the next scene,
like right after that, Cole.
Yeah, like immediately after,
and I believe cut his throat and then burned all the tents.
Yeah, burned all the tents. So they're doing damage. But it's interesting. Like, Roddy the Ruin was like, just send us our winter wolves on them. Let us, take care of him for you. But Lord Tully's like, no, let's just do to him what he's been doing to us, which is what we see in the rest of the episode. Is basically just I did find this a little boring, but it's basically just them going all downhill and everything, like fucking up that they did good for a while. Like we saw them at the start of the episode, like they were burning bridges, they were killing people, they killed that lord, but then like they smarten up to their tactics and use their own tactics and set those, I guess they call them crow's feet, to take away their horses, which would slow them down. And once they're slowed down, they can get ahead of them and cross the bridge and burn it and do what they did for them. It was a freaky scene though when the horses started like freaking out and falling down and everyone's got the sword out, like what the hell is going on? But yeah, I think, I don't know, there was a trailer moment, like, I think it was the trailer for the last week that showed, in the next 4 episodes, and they showed Criston Cole going freaking out, going, stand your ground! But then we see it's just from this scene. Like, it's just nothing, but felt like a disappointment. But yeah, we get like Gwaine talking to Criston about, you come the High Tower, come down to Old Town with us in the High Tower, and we'll give you a spot, and you can become this nice thing. It's going to be great. Like, and I was like, of course that's not going to happen. I think Criston Cole even knew that and was like humoring him, like, yeah, whatever. But because we do find out that when the bridge was burned, Gwaine was all like, we failed. But Criston Cole's like, yeah, kind of knew this would happen. And that conversation he finally has with them is like, I knew I wasn't coming back. Like, this was the plan. And I like when Gwaine is like, are you still going after him? But that will lead to death. And he looks at him and was like, wait a second. That was the whole plan. That was the whole idea. And he's like, maybe they'll sing, I'm the greatest warrior in Westeros. And they'll sing songs about me. And blah, blah, blah. Maybe Alicent will hear these songs. And it's just like, oh my gosh. But I did like how he was like... I did like how he was like, there was a great offer, but that's to be a servant, and I'm done being a servant, and you're good. And it was interesting that Gwaine apparently did take his men, and they're like, fuck, let's fuck off to Tumbleton and not worry about this. And Cole is like giving this speech and blah, 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 how we're going to be great guys. But anyway, I did think he should have died in this episode. But anyway. Listen, we'll start with you on this one.
So Daryl Seymour says in the chat, if I were Gwen, I would have stabbed Cole by now. Why hasn't he? And I see the whole thing about, oh, you should come join our house. You're my brother now. Where did this come from? This feels very unearned. Gwen has never liked Criston Cole. Going back to last year, they were always at odds. And even at the beginning of this season, he was like, "Hey, if you could get your guys to not rape people, that would be cool." Like, so then all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, I have all this respect for you." What? Because he wanted to go get himself killed? I don't. That seems really unearned to me. Like I felt like it threw me for a loop when he started talking that way. Like, what? Why all of a sudden you respect Cole? Like, where did this come from? Cole certainly didn't do anything to earn that respect. Also, a little flabbergasted that Gwen was shocked by Cole's plan. Like, to me, it was obvious when they were sitting down in Harrenhal and saying, "We're going to do this thing." To me, I don't know if anyone else caught it, but to me, it was very plainly obvious that he's on a suicide mission. So Gwen just now is like, oh, like, how did you not see that? To me, like they said they were outnumbered 20-1, and in this episode they were like, we're outnumbered 200-1 or whatever, and he still insists on going. Like, how how do you not, like, where's the little light bulb not lighting up until that moment? Like, oh, so you don't actually think you can win this? Oh, I mean, duh. Like, I don't know. I kind of lost a lot of respect for Gwen. I just think it's a poorly written character that he wouldn't get that. Like, to me, it was obvious, and then just suddenly having all this respect for Cole for absolutely no reason, when before he's always hated him. So yeah, I don't know. It's not just that I hate Criston Cole as a character. I hate these scenes. Like, I just don't think they work. Criston Cole is a character in the book, and you got to have him in the show. He's been a prominent character in the show, as Mark mentioned before. So you got to do something with him. It's just not working for me. And that's mainly why I just want them to kill him off and get him out of the fucking show, because I just don't think his scenes are very good. They don't make a lot of sense to me, and they're boring, and that doesn't make any sense. Like, why does Gwen like Cole now? So the story can happen. Like, there was no reason for him to behave in that way. So I'm just kind of annoyed by all of it. Oh, this is definitely my least favorite part of this episode. And yeah, I thought Cole would die in this episode, and I cannot wait until they kill him off.
Yeah, this is Cole going all Colonel Kurtz and, heading up the river men to stop them, and just going like slowly more nuts. Yeah, the guerrilla tactics are great. They're smart. I did love the attack on, it's like, oh, they're all sleeping. We'll just go in and we'll kill them while you're sleeping, and then set the place on fire and run out, because all you want to do is take hits and get out of there, cause confusion, cause chaos, degrade them. I mean, those are all very smart guerrilla tactics. I love that they do get turned on them, laying out those horrific, what was it that they called those?
The crow's feet.
The crow's feet. Yeah. I mean, oh, that hurt me. And yeah, it was the way that it dropped the horses too, which it totally would. And I'm also thinking, like, is there something arrows? Or they're like mysterious stuff? Is there wires? So I really enjoyed how that turned around, and that forced them to do this again, ridiculous through the middle of nowhere off the road so they can try and get around, even though Cole doesn't think that they're going to get around. And yeah, by the time we got to the end and he does his big speech, part of me is like, oh, so you're going to die? Well, yeah, Gwen, get out of here. Why were you friends? Because, like you said, so the story could happen. I don't know. Maybe when you're out in the woods and you're sweaty and starving and killing people and surviving, maybe that just bonds you to somebody, in unexplicable ways. but even the fact when he does his whole speech and he's like, yeah, but I was committed to someone then, and now I'm doing it on my own. You know, I fought for black, I fought for green, and now it's going to be me. And all I'm thinking in my head is, no, man, you're still dying for the same group of people. You're just deciding to just go die as opposed to do a smart thing and try and live afterwards. I'm like, you're even your excuse. And Alyssa, this is where I'm right with you. It's like, I don't think the scenes are as interesting as they want them to. He says very poignant, very serious things, but they don't mean anything and they don't go anywhere. And maybe that's the larger statement that they're making with this character, but they're spending too much time to underline those points, like way too many times. So yes, fingers crossed Criston Cole dies next week. And if they want to bid him farewell in a big way because he was a main part of the story for a while, I'm fine with that. Just whatever we got to do to move on, folks. And yeah, Gwaine, yeah, pick better friends, man. You're either too stupid or just too unaware. And I think maybe it's just the stupid, arrogant thing. It's like he doesn't get it, even though it's all right in front of his face. Maybe that's what they're saying about Gwaine.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of, it is a little far-fetched, but I can kind of see that Gwaine could have bonded with Cole just in combat and fighting with him, and sort of was trying to, some soldiers can bond on the battlefield and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he has disliked him all this time, like always arguing with him and not really liked him. So to me, just to say off screen they bonded in battle, like that's not he has actively disliked him.
Yeah.
Even as early as episode 1 of this season. So to me, off screen, they just bonded in battle, it just doesn't do it for me personally.
Fair. That's fair.
His speech doesn't hit as hard unless Gwaine had offered him a place, because
but that seemed like obvious foreshadowing when he was saying, we could come back to old. I'm like, this is obvious writing. It's obviously you can try setting it up to
I don't know. Yeah, to me, it's always been obvious that Cole wanted to kill himself. And it's interesting. We were talking last week about how he got out of his emo funk. He wasn't emo anymore. They say that when people who decide that they're going to commit suicide and then they're committed to doing it, then they're not sad anymore because now they're going to do. So that's that effect. Like as soon as he decided, I'm going to kill myself, then he's not emo anymore because he's ready to die. And so to me, that was so obvious from the moment he said that, from back when he was sitting in Harrenhal, and for Gwaine to not pick it up until, you're not coming back. I just want to strangle him. Like, how do you?
Well, I actually buy it because I always got the impression that Gwaine was a stupid character that couldn't really read people. He was the one in season 2. It was like, let's go stay at an inn or whatever and bullshit. So I do kind of buy that. I think that what they're trying to do with Cole's whole storyline since Rook's Rest is, after he suffered massive PTSD from the dragons, and so that he's been in the funk, and it's basically leading him to suicide. Like you said, as soon as he decided, I'm gonna die, then he felt better about it. So it could be, a statement on PTSD and how it can affect soldiers, but I don't think they pulled it off quite that well.
Well, we don't care about Criston, so we don't care about his PTSD.
Well, that's the problem. Yes, the problem is they made him such a despicable character before then.
Yeah, it's hard to get the sympathy. It's hard to get the sympathy at that
point. But I was thinking about the crow's feet, and I was like, how did they know where exactly to put them? But I came up with a headcanon that they had writers or spies or someone track the general direction that they're going in, and so they knew in order to get to the stony step they would have to go in this general direction, so let's plant them all over there. I guess that could work, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, they read the script where they were going to end.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it might have been like a choke point area that they were going through.
Sure.
Like, if they were trying to go around, they've got to go through this canyon and then come down through this glade, so they could sort of, get a general guess on that. And I think it's just one of those where you would expect, like, oh, we have two smart men that are countering, smart people that are countering tactics. This person knows where you're sleeping and how to attack you with this. And so this other group knows how to figure out, oh, well, if you're doing this, then you must be doing this way. So we'll do. But yeah.
And I actually kind of like that we didn't really see it from the Tullys or the Rivermen's perspective. Like, we only saw them at the start of the episode, and so we don't see them planting the stuff, or we don't see them crossing the bridge and burning it behind them. I think it is interesting just getting it, strictly from Cole's perspective. All right. Yeah, let's talk about Daemon and the Gold Cloaks. Yeah, so this has said, like, earlier, that Daemon was preoccupied by the Gold Cloaks dying. First, they weren't getting paid, and they were dying. And it was just interesting seeing him talk to Sir Luther about, maybe you shouldn't go around like killing all those people. And he's like, what? That's what you taught us to do. That's what you were doing. and then he was like, should I not listen to the Queen's orders? And he's like, yeah, no, you can obey her orders. Just maybe choose the amount of vigor that you put into each order, because he doesn't really know what he's doing. And so, yeah, and then we see another Gold Cloak, like two more, get killed as they're talking. They find them, and we see this little girl spying on them. That's when you see the guy with the pigeon. So we know that, like, there's a whole advanced sort of network and whatnot going on. And it's funny because Daemon is like, asked Luther's like, how's the mood with your men, and maybe I should go give him the speech. And it's like, oh, a speech from the Rogue Prince? I don't know. They don't have any money. I don't think that's quite going to do it. Turns out it did do it. That's all he had to do is, part of his speech was to promise them like twice the amount of gold and all this gold. So, and to be fair, I think they know Daemon enough to know that he's good for it, which I do believe he did. He would intend to keep his promise. So I do kind of buy that he would get them riled up again. But then it was a really creepy finale to see, like, the whole, like, feast for traitors, and it was like 6 of them, I think, just laid out dead. And that's another thing that's like, tune in next week to see curious to see where they're gonna take this. Anyway, Alyssa, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I think it really went to show, like, just how much, the Gold Cloaks, even after all these years, just how much they love Daemon and trust him. That and I think Daemon, because he still has these these grand ideas of, like, he was mentioned, like, we're gonna have 9 kingdoms or whatever. He still has his grand ideas of conquering across the Narrow Sea and all of this stuff. And even though Rhaenyra kind of poo-pooed that, I still think that's his ambition. So I still think that he believed what he was saying. Like, I don't think he was lying to the Gold Cloaks. I think he believed that they were going to do that, and I agree, he fully was going to follow through with his promise. And I do buy that the Gold Cloaks would be riled up for them, and then they died immediately after that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm maybe a little iffy on this whole network of. It seems like a really well organized network of spies. How long has this been in place? Did Ormond always know that Rhaenyra was going to take King's Landing, or did they have those spies already set up in place? It seems like a very well-oiled machine to something to have just been thrown together right after Rhaenyra took King's Landing. So I don't know. I'm a little bit iffy on that, but maybe one of y'all can talk me can rationalize that for me. I don't know. Do you guys have any what do you think about that? Because to me, it's felt a little iffy that they would have this well organized machine.
No, I'm right with you. It did seem a bit too powerful for having just come together. I did see a video that showed that apparently, and I didn't catch this, but when Alicent ordered, like in episode 2, to order the dudes to stand down, that there should just one guard there looking pissed off, and apparently that was the same guy who was with the conspirators that put the pigeon out. So apparently it's like those guards sort of that used to work for the the high tower guards. So they're like high tower soldiers but disguised as civilians.
Right. Okay. But there was like a little girl who was like handing off.
Yeah. I don't know.
So it's not just high tower. It just seems a little too well organized for the amount of time they would have had to get this together. But again, and just kind of whatever. Yeah. So I guess we'll see where we're going with this. This is a little off book, so I don't know where exactly they're going. Mark and we can talk a little bit more in the spoiler section of where maybe they could be taking this in relation to what happens in the book. But this is, I guess though I guess I find that I'm not super invested in this storyline. Like I'm mildly curious. Like I just want them to get to the big battle of Tumbleton. Like, especially after seeing the trailer, it looks pretty exciting. You know, there's a lot of things happening, and like, I don't know. I'm kind of, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just see where they're taking this. It definitely was a very like ominous way to end the episode. I'll give them that. A very creepy way of having all those dead bodies. It still looks like the Last Supper to me. I don't know why, but it's definitely a very creepy way, and it definitely shows that they have a problem. Even if it maybe doesn't make a whole lot of sense yet for them to have all this organization. We can put that aside and say, it shows that they have a problem here. So I don't know. I guess we'll see where we're headed with this.
Yeah, that's a presentation thing. You want all the everyone facing the audience. You don't want backs to the audience. They're all gonna be on one side, and so it's just one of those things when you're doing setup. It's like if you watch a reality show, everybody stands perfectly in line or in like a half circle so the camera could get in there. Same thing. Any good artist / serial killer / killer for assassin for hire, they really know how to put their work out there. You want to drum up future business as well. It's like a calling card. Sorry. Look, this is the thing that really got to me, that really annoyed me, to be perfectly honest. I don't mind that there is some spies out there or some people that might be able to get around and get a gold cloak and lay them out, or maybe even 2 and lay them out. And I like the complications that we have going on with them not getting paid, but Daemon can really rile them up and promise them, hey, but I'm going to give you a lot more and you're going to be even greater, and we're going to make Westeros great again. It's going to be awesome. I mean, I like all of those scenes. And yeah, honestly, really the yes, of course, listen to the queen, but it's like a level, like, hey, calm some things down. You got to sort of pick and choose at what makes the most sense. And as Gold Cloaks, as the city guard, they should kind of know all about that. It's not like this is just an all fresh group of Gold Cloaks. But why you can't have a Terminator ending? Okay, you can't have somebody have gone into the police station and killed all the cops, because that's where they were, right? They were in the Gold Cloak HQ. That's what it looked like. I don't know if they burned everything or it was just the blood and the drag off, because it looked like partially burned and damaged, and he wasn't reacting the way that I thought, because all I'm thinking is like, isn't this Gold Cloak HQ? Didn't you just give the speech here a little while ago? And to go in and have 6 of them I think something like that, killed and laid out with the dun-dun. That's massive. That's almost supernatural. I don't know if they hired Alice Rivers and this is how she's picking up some side money and reputation things. Maybe this is, how she's working her way into the other side. I don't know. That would be almost more believable in this storyline than, like you said, Alyssa, how did this massive underground connection thing form up here? Maybe you have pieces, but you would have to have half of the Gold Cloaks would have to be involved in this in order to kind of pull this particular thing off. So yeah, while they are thank you, Brandon. While they are I get where they're going with things. I get that they're making the, oh my God, they've messed up. They've got a problem. It's out of control. This seems like almost too much. I mean, a group that could actually go in and do this in the headquarters and kill them and wipe them all out and do all that. That's not a small band of underground people. That's not a little tiny resistance movement. I mean, that's a well-organized, large group. And that seems like that shouldn't be the case here. But again, that's my feel.
Well, I was thinking Mysaria must suck at her job as a spy master.
Seriously,
not even see doesn't she have any had no idea that there was this massive movement around? And why then Rhaenyra, for that matter, should have tasked her with finding out who was putting the shit on the wall rather than having the Gold Cloaks go and beat up random people. But well, I don't know. She does. Everyone on Rhaenyra's small council is bad at their job.
Yes, that does seem to be the real case. Is nobody really is doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and then Lady Frey, I don't even know what her job is still.
Yeah.
What is her job?
She's the gossip. She's the gossip. She's going to be she's the chair of entertainment. What she's going to be media, and I don't know. Speech writing.
The master of sitting there and looking pretty.
Master of some sort of political damage control. What's happening?
All right.
The phrase always suck. That's really what she is just there to show.
Yes. True. All right. So we're going to go ahead and end our spoiler-free discussion here on the episode. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching. If you're not sticking around for the spoiler section, thanks so much. Be sure to subscribe to Enchantment of Eternity for more. And of course, we're going to have to say goodbye to Darrin. Darrin, great to see you as always. Thanks so much for joining.
Oh, it's always such a blast being here talking to both of you. And again, it makes the show more fun to be able to sit here and talk and work out some things. You guys often will illuminate me on things that I don't understand. And sometimes, like today, just reinforce when I come in, oh God, I hope I'm not the only one that had problems with this episode. So bless both of you on that. And thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks everybody watching the archives. And I'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the spoiler section.
See ya. All right, so we're getting into spoilers now.
Okay, I've been wanting to say this since last week. I need to amend my earlier prediction that I made earlier in the season where I thought they could make it to the Aemond and Daemon scene by the end of the season. They're definitely not doing that.
Okay. All right.
I really feel like they're setting up the Battle of Tumbleton as the big event.
You were very adamant before that.
I was, but now that I've seen the trailer for the last 4 episodes and I've seen the pacing of where the show is now, I have to take back what I said before. I was adamant before because I was like, well, they they can't have Aemond be like tripping in there and like not have a payoff for that. They gotta pay this off by the end of the season. But they also took longer to get Aemond back into the fold than I thought they would. So the pacing is a little bit different than I thought it would be. So now that I see what the pacing looks like, and I've seen the trailer for the last 4 episodes, and I see Daemon on the battlefield, like I don't feel they're getting to Aemond and Daemon this season.
Oh yeah, Daemon on the battlefield. I forget. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we're going there anymore. In episode 1 and 2, I was feeling pretty confident about it, but now that we've gotten a little further in the season and I'm getting a sense of what the pacing is like, I don't think we're getting there. It does, and I did hear that they're. And I didn't confirm this. I can't remember where I heard this. It was some video. It might have been Brain Pilot who said it. I don't know.
Okay.
The final 2 episodes are going to be Battle of Tumbleton. And not the way that I understood it is the battle is going to be split up over 2 episodes, not the battles in 1 episode and the aftermath is in the other episode. Like the battle. But I don't know if that's true. It's just a random YouTube person said that, so I don't know if that's true. But regardless of whether that's true or not, I do really get the sense that the big event of this season is the Battle of Tumbleton. I think they're making it even larger than it is in the book because they've been building up Ormond being in Tumbleton and kind of occupying it. Like they've really been building it up a lot. But in the book, it's just like, okay, Tumbleton happens. Like there's not all this build up. So it really feels like they're building it up to be the big event at the end of season 3. So I think that is it. And then I believe Aemond and Daemon will happen in the first half of season 4. I don't think it'll happen in episode 1 per se, but I think it'll happen pretty early on, probably. I think, but I do now believe it's a season 4 event.
Okay. Brandon says, "Is anyone else bored with people spending episodes tripping out in Harrenhal?" Yeah,
well,
I don't think
as bad as it was for Daemon. So
yes, it definitely wasn't as bad. But yeah, I did find name and stuff kind of boring because I was like, oh, we've already did. But I knew it was inevitable.
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna drag it out as much. Hopefully.
No, I don't.
And we do know Aemond gets together with Alyssa in the book, and I do think they're keeping that for sure.
So when I was mentioning that, I think Alys had another reason for keeping Aemond alive, and I think that's to have his son.
Oh yeah,
because Daemon, when she asked for Harrenhal, Daemon's like, "Who are you? You are no one. You got no noble blood." So, if she gives birth to the son of, a Targaryen,
but that's still a bastard son.
Well, probably not what she would claim it to be. Which I believe in the book, didn't she try to be like, "This is Aemon's son," so we claim Harrenhal?
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the case. Yeah. It happened after the Dance of Dragons.
Yeah. I stopped listening to those audiobook after a while, so I may not have gotten yet. But I think in the past I had read that far, so it's jogging my memory. Yeah, I think you're right. So that could be, she's trying to get impregnated. That makes a lot of sense. I do think in this respect they are staying true to the book. Obviously, we're not going to have Daemon and Nettles. I think we'll have Daemon and Rhaenyra to some degree, but they're not. Like, they really strongly implied that Daemon and Nettles were hooking up.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to do that with Daemon and her daughter, even though there's all the incest. I don't think they're going there.
No.
I think Alyce and Aemond are going to stay true to the book.
But in the book, they made it like they were like the Maester writing was unclear whether or not she was lying. Like some people say that, they just were vague on whether or not it was actually Aemon's son, but I think in the show they are going to make it clear it's definitely going to be the case.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely I got the impression they were definitely hooking up in the book.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they did say they were hooking up. Yes,
yeah, definitely hooking up in the book. But yeah. No, I think you're right. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Well, it's interesting because in the book, like Aemond and Cole spent time in Harrenhal, and apparently, like Cole was getting pissed off at Aemond for sleeping with Alice Rivers, and Cole tried to convince Aemond to go back to King's Landing. So it was interesting that they just didn't see each other at all in Harrenhal, and they just skipped that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I was thinking maybe they could get to the Daemon and Aemond thing at the end of the season. But now that you're talking about it, I think they need more time to build up for it, and they're going to spend the time, because they can't just tack it in at the end of.
Yeah, that's what it would feel like to me at this point. If they did it at the end, it would be a tack on, because I don't feel like it's been built up enough this season. When I was so certain earlier in the season, I thought they were going to build up to it more, and they really haven't. So they really are spending a lot of time building up the Battle of Tumbleton. So I think that's what we're gonna see. I think that if they're gonna stretch this out over 2 episodes, I bet my guess would be that the betrayal will happen at the end of episode 7. That's the way to end the episode, like dun dun dun.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's good. Oh, and I had a theory about the betrayal. I was thinking about Hugh. Is that maybe because in this episode, like they're getting fed up with Ormond and sending spies, and Daemon's like, you should have just burned them all, and maybe like Rhaenyra orders them to just go ahead and burn down Tumbleton with the dragons, and Hugh like defects because his wife's in there, and he's like,
oh yeah, because it does seem that she says something in the trailer that kind of led me to believe that she was just like, fuck it, just kill them all.
yeah.
She's like kind of just losing her patience, which is kind of what Ormond is. That's his plan, to just break her down, so that she just, eventually just loses her shit and starts burning stuff.
Yes, I do want, and I wonder if Ulf is going to be Ormond's idea or Ulf's idea. I think it might be better if it was Ormond's idea.
Yeah,
sure that he's like a mastermind kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it'll be Ormond's idea. Yeah.
But in the book, like Daemon wasn't there, right, at Tumbleton?
No, he was not. I think he was already fucking off with Nettles at this point.
Yeah,
if I recall correctly. I don't remember. Well, actually, I don't remember exactly where he was. He may or may not have been, but he definitely was not at the battle at all.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I have to read the book. You just read it, but I think the book was less clear on why Rhaenyra didn't just send the dragons to attack Ormond, and when she did, it was just Ulf and Hugh. And it's like, why would you only just send Ulf and Hugh? I don't know. I can't remember.
I think she just thought that was enough dragons, and she only needed 2 of them, I guess. That's all she needed. I don't know.
Oh, maybe she wanted the others for, like, Daemon was off looking for Vhagar, and
yeah, I think
she wanted the others to defend King's Landing. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. First Tumbleton, Brandon. I don't know if they're going to have a second Tumbleton in the show or not. I mean, they might.
Oh, I think they have to. Season 4.
Yeah, it would be season 4.
Yeah.
I mean,
we need like the death of all these people, and
we do, but it doesn't have to be a full-on second Battle of Tumbleton in the show. I mean, I hope they do, but I'm not convinced that they will, like, how necessarily, because the show changes so much. So I don't know what the show is going to do.
I don't know. I would bet money that they will.
But
I feel like it. Like, I mean, I suppose they could do it not a battle, but it's like so much important. Like, I want to see like Addam get in this dragon and try to kill the Vormithor and all that. Like, I think they have to keep that.
I don't know, because if we had talked about before, we don't know if Rhaenyra is gonna name Addam a traitor. So is he going to still behave in the same way? I don't know that this. They make so much changes that I am not. I don't feel totally confident that that's going to happen. I think that, as I said before, all the people who die in the book have to die in the show, but I don't know that they always will die the same way. So I think that there could be some, there'll be some kind of skirmish or something that happens in Templeton, but it may not be a full-on battle, second battle of Templeton.
Sure, like if it's not like I don't know,
because I do feel, well, in any event,
I mean, it could be a battle in the sense that the God's Eye, like the battle happened, but it was mostly off screen.
Yeah, I think that in the show there's going to be the Battle of Templeton, and then there may be a second lesser Battle of Templeton, but I think that they're really, really amping up for this huge thing that's like way bigger than it was in the book. That's going to be like this big epic battle. And I don't think they're going to do a second big epic battle, but they may.
No, I agree.
They'll do a second one. Like something. Yeah. So something will happen, but
I think it's going to be a battle, but not in a sense as like a battle episode, like a battle in the show,
right,
where they make a big production out of. But I think there will be a battle, even if most of it happens off screen. We just focus on but they gotta. I don't know. I feel like they gotta do the Addam thing so that Sea Smoke and Vormithor can die.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, they're definitely not going to do the Hugh crowning himself king, but I think they're going to do some other way to have Hugh die.
Yeah. No, the characters who die in the book have to die in the show, so they got to find some way for Hugh to die, but it won't be the same because he's a different character. So. Did you have something else you wanted to say?
No, go ahead.
Change the topic. So we were wrong about Sunfire eating that dude. I thought for sure that's
I know.
That would work satisfying. But Sunfire is still alive. Sunfire has to be alive, even though Aegon was like, my dragon is dead. But like, I don't know how. I'm trying to scratch my head to try to think how that's going to happen, or how Sunfire is just going to suddenly come to life again. Or are they going to go back to Sunfire again? Or I don't know. I can't picture how this is going to happen, but it has to. It has to happen.
Well, there's still that shot from the original season 2 trailer that showed Larys and Aegon like at night looking up at something. We still haven't seen that, and I'm still convinced that Sunfire that they're looking at.
Oh yeah, okay, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that's probably and I don't know, like I don't know what Thailand's do. I really don't. I mean, as I said before, I do understand why they sent Thailand to the Triarchy, because you needed to have like a familiar face, like a known character there. But now that they've done that, like now his story is completely different. So he probably will still circle back around and end up in the Red Keep again, at the end where he is. But like what they're doing with him right now, I don't know. I don't know what. But
I don't think Aegon's going to the Western Lands. I don't think he's going to Bravos. I think they're just gonna get Sunfire and go to Dragonstone, and maybe Thailand's gonna be part of that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I feel like the Sunfire thing would probably have to happen at the end of the season, and I don't think he would go to Dragonstone until next season.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Oh, and I just thought of another question I had for you on another different topic.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that there's any connection between these high tower spy network and the Shepherd, or is that a totally separate thing? Because it's just like having the people rebel against Rhaenyra makes me think of the whole shepherd thing, but that's not like an organized spy network of any
So what I was thinking, and I did think about this, is that they were separate things, but what the spy network does is going to rowdy up the common folk, and that's going to lead into things like the shepherds. So what they do, like putting those Queen of Bastards, and also the way she overreacts and stuff, and I feel like maybe somehow they're going to have to use the dragon on people, and that's what's really going to get the shepherds. So maybe they end up using one of their dragons on these people, and that's what gets the shepherd going about how dragons are evil.
I mean, it could just be that they get word of Tumbleton.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true. But I just feel like the whole getting the common folk angry with people, that's how it ties into the shepherd and stuff. And I do think the shepherd's not going to be introduced until next season.
Yeah, I think
if they do him at all. As you said, the show's doing so different. They could replace it maybe with the Septon or something.
Yeah, it could be the Septon. I think they may try to tie it into the Church of the Seven on the show. And so because of the way that they set things up with the High Septon, possibly. I'd like to just see the shepherd, but I don't know. I don't know but I definitely think that the shepherd, if it is a character that they're going to use, that he hasn't been cast yet. It'll be cast sometime between season 3 and 4, and he will premiere in season 4. I'm pretty sure.
And I'm starting to agree with you more that in season 4 they are going to like drag out, and they probably might not even have like Aemond and Daemon's death till like later, till like episode 5 or 6 or something. Yeah. I don't know.
I was thinking just like halfway through the season, but
halfway.
Yeah, like 4.
And then have the dragon pit shit happen like towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And, like
they would really have to drag things out to have that, like to have it happen that late. But I guess
yeah.
But I don't really know how. I think there's going to be a lot of show original material, because I don't know how they're going to fill up all that space with 8.
Yeah. I still feel like a lot of shit needs to happen. Like, I think if they're not even going to introduce the shepherd until season 4, they need to sort of build them up and build up all that shit.
Yeah, that's true. And they still need to. When are they going to explain what happened to Aegon the Younger and the Sarah?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he needs to get the King's Landing before.
Yeah. And he has to be there.
That was another thing I was thinking about Joffrey, is that since he's so much younger, like I don't see him trying to ride Rhaenyra's dragon. Like I don't see that happening. So I was thinking that maybe they gave him Maelor's death, that he was out traveling around when all the riots break out and the people just go in there and just kill him.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah. Do we think Helena's death will happen this season? Because I think last week I said I thought it would, but I don't know. I'm 50-50. Like I think
it will.
I think it should happen in the last episode.
Yeah, I think it might be the finale. Because it does seem like they are building towards that. I don't know what the fuck to deal with them being trapped in the secret passage. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I thought it was like, what do you mean you're trapped? How can they be trapped? But they can't be trapped. It's just going to be like, they're just going to get out of it. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Like, is Mysaria going to go and find him and bring them out? Or is the cat's going to bring them out? It's not going to be, I don't know. Why are they doing this? Like, just, I don't know. I really don't understand why they're having them trapped.
Well, it feels like, yeah, but I think we even said this before, that it feels like with Helaena, the only 2 options were either drink moon tea or try to escape.
Yeah.
So it kind of made, the trying to escape made sense to me, but I don't know what the show's doing with them being trapped in the secret So.
Yeah,
And they better not just be there the entire episode, next episode, and being blah blah fucking around. That would be boring.
yeah. So how is she gonna die? Now I can straight up seeing Rhaenyra like having her killed potentially if she finds out about the baby. She could also like force her to drink the moon tea, and in which case I could see Helaena resulting in killing herself.
Yes. No, I could see that. I could see that happening. I'm actually kind of leaning that way now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because especially like Helena's reaction to Alicent trying to get her to drink the moon tea does make me think if Rhaenyra forced her to do it, that might lead to her committing suicide.
How is Rhaenyra going to find out? Is Mysaria going to end up snitching, or is she going to find out in another way, and then maybe be mad at Mysaria for not telling her?
I don't know. I don't know. It could be either way.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I think that's all I had.
That's it? Yeah, that's all I have too. Yeah. All right. They're running out of good titles for episodes this season. Yeah, like when they did Unbowed, Unbent, I was like, they already have an episode in Game of Thrones called Unbound, Unbent, Unbroken.
Yeah.
Like, just take one of the words out and call it the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they're kind of starting to get lazy like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Let's have like 5 different episodes of some variation of the Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so we'll go ahead and end this discussion here. Thanks everyone for joining for the spoiler section, and of course we'll be back next week. Check out Enchantment of Eternity. Cover lots of Star Trek shit and be here every week to do House of the Dragon. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to plug, Alyssa.
Nope, I will see you back here next week.
All right. Okay. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining.